So here's the scenario. You've been lifting for months. You've been putting in all your effort at the gym. You've been going in day after day, grinding it out. You're sore, you're tired, and yet your lifts are not going up. What could be the reason? Well, that's exactly what we're going to discuss in today's video. So we're gonna get right into the main problems. Number one is you're doing too much volume or too much junk volume. A lot of times beginners tend to get into the gym and they'll think, well, if I do some of this, I feel good. So if I do more of this, then naturally I must feel better. We as humans tend to have this idea that more is always better, and if something feels good, then we want to do it again. And one of the hardest things that I've had to learn is that sometimes easing off is actually more important than pushing through. Sometimes more isn't always better, whether that's in life or whether it's in the gym. You know, sometimes you get one nice car and you think, man, wouldn't it be sick to have 4 Lamborghinis instead of 1 Lamborghini? But then really it's like if you only have one, then it's more enjoyable to just take really good care of that one. In the same way, when you get into the gym, it's better to have quality sets, especially as a beginner. Unless you are someone who's taking a bunch of anabolics or you're someone who is rather enhanced, let's say, it doesn't really make sense for you to be pushing all out in the gym all the time. It's just not going to be recoverable. Unless you're someone who's already Mr. Fitness or Miss Fitness, if you're a lady watching this, it's not reasonable to expect yourself to be able to suddenly get in the gym and then be able to lift like your favorite fitness influencer who's been doing it for years and whose profession it is to even look good. So what I would suggest is a really good starting point is if you can even just get in the gym 2 days a week. You know, I used to say 3 days a week, but if you can do 2 days a week and full body and start out, just learn to get yourself primed. The worst thing you can do is actually get into the gym and then push really, really hard on your first day, feel really great, and then end up way too sore to come back to the gym like the next couple of days, and your body's scared and you're like, I don't really want to do that again. What you really want is to be able to leave a little bit in the tank so that you can come back to the gym again. It's better to be able to do a little bit more frequently than it is to do a ton all at once. So start out with a couple days a week, and what I even recommend is don't even do a bunch of sets. Literally maybe like 2 working sets of each exercise. Pick 4 or 5 exercises, 2 working sets. That's all you're going to need, especially as a beginner. You don't really need any more than that. The moment you start getting into too much volume or too much junk volume, you tend to build up a ton of systemic fatigue. You need to have a good balance of the amount of work you're doing to the amount of fatigue you get. Now, the second problem is a lack of progressive overload. So even though you might have gone super hard, you felt great, you got a good pump on your first session in the gym, a lot of times what happens is people tend to slow down. Once the initial novelty wears off, you tend to stop pushing. It's the same thing that happens when you go to your job and the first day you're super excited, your boss is like, hey, let me put this on your desk, and you're like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do the 10 other tasks that you told me to do because I am such an overachiever, you're gonna love me in this job. It's gonna be amazing forever, right? No, it's not. And the reality is, after it sets in that you're going to be coming to this job several days a week, you're like, all right, I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and then I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna go play Mario Kart on the Wii. Right? It's just probably what you're gonna do. Sometimes it's what I wanna do, but you know, we crack on. And so what happens is people start just going through the motions in the gym. You start getting in there, you lose the drive, and you stop pushing yourself as hard as you were before. So what you really want to do is actually make sure that you're progressive overloading all the time. Even if you feel like you can keep track of it in your head, whatever, I don't really care. Some people hate writing things down. I love writing things down. I hate using the phone to track things, but any way that you can actually track your weights is going to be extremely beneficial because you want to make sure that week after week you are getting better. Now this can mean better intensity, better control, it could mean more reps, it could mean more sets, it could mean a heavier weight. So any one of those. If you're only looking at weights, it's going to be a great way to get injured. And that's another thing that I've learned is not to just push for the PR in one way, but to make sure that you are actually mastering the weight before you move on to the next one. If you feel like you're approaching a weight where it's starting to become unsafe for you to lift, then maybe you slow down, focus more on the contraction and focus on the technique and go that way, or you try for a little bit more reps, you add an extra set, something like that, something to progressively overload. So the next thing is not having enough calories or protein to recover. Now this is going to be a little bit of an interesting one because if you are currently overweight, this most likely is not the reason you're not making gains in the gym. Right? If you are overweight, you have enough adipose tissue, you have enough fat on you to fuel the gains. And so what you really need to do is focus more on steps 1 and 2, which is not doing too much junk volume and focusing on your progressive overload. However, if you are a skinny guy and you are watching this and you are very wiry and you're getting in the gym and you're pushing hard and you're like, oh, I feel weak, my joints are beat up, but I'm not getting any bigger, you gotta eat more. You probably do have to eat more until you start seeing visual fat gain and you're kind of like, okay, maybe I am actually gaining fat. For like a couple of weeks, then you can dial back your calories, you can dial back the amount you're eating. But if you're really skinny, you're really lean, and you're like, man, I just don't know what's happening. Dude, you probably have to eat more. For sure, there is no way that you're going to gain your way from 120 pounds to 140 pounds. It's just not going to happen. In no world are you going to eat your maintenance number of calories and magically put on the amount of muscle that you could as a newbie. You have to eat in some form of a calorie surplus. Main gaining is really great for people who are in that intermediate zone. Not super great for people who are very skinny or what would be considered like underweight. And there are for sure a few of you guys out there who are watching this video who are underweight, very skinny, and probably need to eat more and are being influenced by social media and diet culture to actually just main gain, and you don't actually make any gains. So if you're overweight, make sure you're adjusting your macros to include more protein, probably less fats. Make sure you're getting your healthy carbs in. Carbs do support muscular repair. If you're really skinny, then just focus on eating more. Don't even worry about the macros, because just the fact that you're getting a calorie surplus is going to help you grow and be more impactful than you trying to shovel down a bunch of chicken breasts, feeling like you're awful and putting more taxation on your digestion. It's just not a great idea. Now, the fourth thing that I want to touch on is analysis paralysis. This is like the biggest thing for me. I know too much. And I feel like there's a lot of you out there who probably know too much like myself. There's so many fitness influencers to watch. Everyone's saying different things on different days. Today, it's all about raw dairy. Tomorrow, it's red meat. Tomorrow, it's being vegan. Maybe it's about myo reps. Maybe it's about drop sets. Maybe it's about, doing half a rep and then like reverse pyramid training your way and then like doing fasting one day. It doesn't make sense. What you need to do is pick something and just do it. The most progress I find myself making day to day, whether it's in life or in the gym, is when I just stop thinking about things and I just do it. You can have options, but you pick one and you don't look back. You make a choice, you made the choice. That's it. On to the next thing. So if you are trying to optimize your split and do exactly the best thing and optimize your meals and all that, stop. Trust me, it's way too much and it's probably hindering your progress. What you want to do is, if you need to eat meals and you're like, I'm hungry, just eat. If it's time to eat, but you're not hungry, don't eat. Wait until you're hungry. It's fine. You can make a ridiculous amount of the gains that you need to make by just doing the simple basics without delving into all the advanced stuff. If you're not an advanced lifter, and even myself, I'm not an advanced lifter, I would guarantee for most of you guys out there that you're not advanced lifters and you don't need to worry about all the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't worry about, am I getting exactly this micronutrient? Just eat some healthy food, eat when you need to, train hard but not so hard that you're exhausted and don't want to go to the gym, maintain healthy habits, and you will see a ton of gains. So those are 4 of the biggest reasons that you're probably training hard but not making any gains. Comment down below, did you guys enjoy this type of video? I would really love to make more informational videos like this. I just want to know from you, the viewers, what you prefer. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you can stay up to date when I post new content. If you would like one-on-one coaching with me, or to check out my lean bulking program that will get you an easy to follow program, get you started in the gym, training just 3 days a week, along with a simple framework for your diet, then go ahead and check out the links in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.